Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil. Well, it's turned out to be a flattish day for the benchmark indices, and we really haven't seen too much movement. However, stocks that are in focus, and let's take a look at them. Those index movers which have seen a substantial increase is India Bulls Housing Finance up 7.5%, and some gains coming in banks like IndusInd Bank. We have FMCG players like ITC also advancing in trade. But besides that, in terms of losers, we have Eicher Motors down 2.7%, but less than 2% losses for the likes of something like a Gale, a Tech Mahindra, or a Vedanta. Moving on to your broader markets, on the NSE 500, 3 gainers for 2 losers. Diwan Housing Finance making a comeback, up 10%. And of course, along with India Bulls Housing Finance, we have India Bulls Ventures also advancing in trade. ITI, Prestige Estates, and Dish TV also showing some amount of strength. Jet Airways, on the other hand, is down 5%, followed by Cox & Kings, some usual suspects here. However, Narayana Hrudayalaya makes, a surprise down move here, down 3.5%, as the case for Indian Energy Exchange and NLC India. But let's get in our markets editor, via Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts. Neeraj, the trading day today?
Yeah, well, again, meandering around those levels, and I think we sound like a broken record the last 2 or 3 sessions, Agam. Not much more to add. Wait for the budget day. The couple of small things that happened today was a bit of a risk on in the financials. So I don't know if India Bulls announcements triggered it or something else.
Right.
The global bond yields have been lower, and therefore banks by and large seem to be active as well. So we had the PSU banks very active, stocks like IndusInd Bank, etc., doing really well. So a bit of a risk on that came back on the financial side, even though the index was just up about 1/3%. So nothing too dramatic, just that at points of resistances and not at points of support, but at points of resistances, the Bank Nifty tends to do well. So interesting move there. But I guess let's wait and watch. The next couple of days would be interesting. Today, again, the volumes were very similar, eerily similar to the same volumes that happened yesterday. It almost looked like a mirror image or an image of that. So pretty interesting. Guest participation would also have remained low. Wait and watch. Your space, IT, isn't quite doing well. I don't know if it's got to do with the currency strength or otherwise, but that's that one thing to monitor. And hey, crude falling, I don't think Indian markets will ever complain.
Absolutely. Well, Neeraj, thank you for that perspective there. So there you have it. But there are some concerns coming through, and that is the FMCG area. And we had 2 companies from the FMCG sector which have actually given us an indication of as to how the first quarter has panned out for them. First one was Godrej Consumer Products. They did suggest that it's been a muted quarter for them. They've seen some moderation, and not just in the India business, but also in the other geographies, which would include something like Africa, Indonesia, as well as US. So that is as far as your Godrej Consumer Products is concerned. And perhaps later on in the day, we also had Marico, which is indicated moderation in volumes, and that was not just in Parachute, which started off very strong, but then there was a little bit of a decline in volumes. But it was also in terms of something like a Saffola. Value-added hair oil, however, did well according to the release coming through. So we'll be watching out for those numbers. But on that note, let me also bring in Sharad Dubey for the 2 other stocks that are buzzing in trade. Sharad.
Yes, Agam, the first stock is India Bulls Housing Finance, which I would like to talk about. So basically, the company has raised its second buyback for its NCDs and Masala bond issue. Now, if you see the stock reaction, how it has happened is, first I would like to just point out that the first, over the last, since June 20th, the company had already bought back NCDs worth around 2,173 odd crore rupees, while the stock today, when the announcement came, the stock rose by almost 8 odd %. So basically, if we go through the details, we see that the offer is for the investors to buy back all NCDs maturing in September, aggregating to around 1,375 crores rupees, and for rupee denominated bonds, which is known as Masala bonds, their maturity is around 1,330 odd crore rupees, which will be maturing in October, which the company will be doing a buyback. Up next, the next stock I've picked up is Aster DM Healthcare, which the stock rose almost as high as 3% and ended the day at around 127.8 rupees. As HSBC has maintained its buy ratings for the stock with a target price of 205 rupees, citing that the presence across various income segments and value chain will support the strong revenues and the margins. And also moving ahead, the Indian and the Middle East markets are looking good for the company, and the Aster DM is actually trading almost 40% as discount to its peer, so it's a good valuation play. So Agam, these 2 stocks are actually buzzing today.
Okay, thank you, Sharath, for bringing us those details. So, while we in the indices have been relatively quiet, there is a lot of traction in the stocks, as you can see, and you have also heard from our experts here. But on that note, it's a wrap on the markets. But lost my lineup. Stay tuned to Bloomberg.